Hey everyone, I'm starting to get questions about the truck and how everything's set up, so I thought I would do a quick overview of how I got everything plugged in and all that good stuff. And I think the first thing people always ask is the lights. How do they work and all that good stuff? So I'll tell you how they're on there, because that's usually the most asked question. And this is max strength packing tape. That's essentially all it is. It's just max strength packing tape. Now, yes, it will damage your paint. Over time, I've been doing this for years, it will damage the paint. And you can tell, like back here on the bed of the truck, just how much damage. This is where most of the damage is. And you can tell it will damage the paint. So if you care about your vehicle, do not use max strength packing tape. Just not good. Don't do it. You can use painter's tape, you can use duct tape, you can use lesser abrasive or strength adhesives and all that good stuff. You can do that. But it's just not going to look good during the day. As you can see from here, you can kind of see how it's put together, how it's on there by just like this door. You can see some of the loose, wet type pieces of tape because we just had rain recently. But look at the back door and the bed of the truck. You can't really tell how it's on there just from here. So if you didn't know, you'd be like, wait a minute. They are powered. These are twinkly dots. It's 400 count. I have 5 sets. I wanted 10, but each set runs $125 a piece. It does get pricey. Plus, I didn't know if 10 was going to work or anything, so I just I'll start with 5, and if I need to go down, I'll go down. But 5 works. Everything's good. I'll go over how they get powered and turned on and all good stuff here in a second. So this guy's just essentially just zip ties. Same with the monster teeth. They're just zip tied in there. Some of this weird stuff that you see is like spray adhesive that looks like webbing when you spray it, but after a couple days, it just wastes into that. So I got these little bone arms from Five Below. They're posable, but 2 of them, they're dry rotted, so the 2 fingers on here just broke off. I don't know if you can see the screen. You can see it flickering. Those are the eyes that you see on the truck in that other video. These are just screens you get from AliExpress. They were like 14 bucks for both of them. I got a pumpkin spider. That guy was from Lowe's last year. The 12-footer from Home Depot, I modified it so it would fit on the truck and everything. And if you want me to go have a more in-depth video on that, I can do that. Just let me know. Comment below, let me know. So yeah, just more of the lights. The devil horns are from Amazon. They're getting more expensive every year. These things used to be literally like $6, and now they're almost up to 30. I'm pretty sure you can get cheaper ones, but I get the same ones that I buy every year because the adhesive is good. All the other ones I've tried, they're not great. Even these aren't all that great, but they work for me. So the Michael Myers is this year. I saw it on TikTok shop, and it was really good. I just wish it was a little bigger. This looks good from far away, but I wish it was just slightly bigger. It does have a cool effect. So an Easter egg this year is I always just throw bones back here because there's sandbags holding the base of the 12-footer, and then this guy who's new this year, and rope and all that good stuff. I wanted an Easter egg, so if you look in here, there'd be bones or whatever. But I switched it up this year, and this year I put beef netting, and my wife cut holes in it, and then I threw the bones on top of that, and then a spider, and a guy in a body bag, and a webbed up guy right here. So it's just a neat little Easter egg in case you happen to peek over and see what's going on there. I got a little screen back here that just shows different things or whatever. This guy's been here for years. It's a tried and true 7-footer from Lowe's. This guy's new this year. This was a gift. Somebody had left this on my truck. I went to the mall and I came out and this was sitting on the running board. Somebody had gifted me like they do with ducks with Jeeps. Oh, motorcycle. Oh God. All right. I usually have a flag right here in the flagpole, but it's cloudy, and if it rains, I don't like to have it out, just because it's just a heavy piece of cloth that's smacking all the stuff around here, and it doesn't flap very well. This is the 6.5-foot Skelly, that's animated Skelly, that's new this year from Home Depot. I essentially just waterproofed him. There's a speaker mod that you can do where you just put an auxiliary port out, and then I just bought an external outdoor speaker, and I just have it zip tied in there because it's much louder than the standard speaker. I waterproof this. I'm very much a function over form type of guy, so I just waterproofed it. I don't care what it looks like on the back. The front is what matters, and I waterproofed all the internals in his head, aside from gears, and obviously. And this is just liquid electrical tape. It's super cheap. Use outdoors. It is extremely, 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 extremely strong. Every time I use it, even outdoors, it gives me a headache. So just a heads up. So the 12-footer is balanced on by foam blocks from the trampoline park. I don't know if you can see that as well. I can't see the angle. I'm just putting it up there. But I would take a turn, and the foam blocks, even though they're like zip tied to his arms, it would like fold over or whatever, and he would shift. So I 3D printed some cubes that the foam blocks can sit in, and then I zip tied, just drilled the hole straight through. I drilled holes on the bottom so water can drain out, and I just zip tied it to the arms and everything. And then I have alien tape so that they're secured to the roof of the truck. They're not going anywhere. He doesn't shift anymore. He's a little, not top heavy, but there's like body roll. I want to try to minimize as much as possible. So I'll go slower on turns, especially if there's like dips or bumps in the road. So the twinkly lights, I have them powered. Let me go on the other side. I have them powered my 2 inverters. Now, when I would run regular Christmas or Halloween lights, I would just do a single inverter. It's a 400 watt, and you could plug in, oh my gosh, I think it was like 3,000 lights, and it would still be fine. But these draw a little more power, and so what I've had to do is I had to upgrade the inverter to 1,000 watts, and then I had to get 2 of them. So again, it's a mess. I do apologize, but I had to get different angles because these boxes are huge, these plugs. And then there's control boxes. You can see like right here. Again, it's a mess. But they're very awkward, so I had to get like these different angles and extensions and all that stuff. So they had to get plugged in. Now I've got 3 plugged in here. I know you're like, wait a minute, I only see 2. But there's an extension cord that I run underneath through the firewall into the hood where I have it plugged in. The third one that's for the hood lights essentially. But yeah, the inverter just plugs in to the cigarette lighter. I've got toys here that I give away to like kids and plushies, and I got necklaces. I got a box of flashing rings and all kinds of good stuff. And the way I control it is I had to get hotspot service for my phone, and then I had an old phone, an LG Wing, and then I just used the Wi-Fi on here to connect to this phone that I'm recording on, and then I used the Twinkly app. And everything is synced up, so if I want to change the patterns or the colors or anything, I just turn that on. I usually keep it off because the battery drains really quickly, and I can change anything on the fly. There's also underglow and all that good stuff. And then I have the second inverter because 5 was too many to plug into 1, and so I have 2 plugged in here. There's an extension cable that I run into the bed of the truck where the 12-footer and the animated skelly's plugged in, and I have 1 plugged in here and 1 plugged into the extension cord. And then this I just leave plugged in. That one I need to unplug because if not, the lights up here on these screens will just stay on. So, and I always keep a tire inflator and a jump box just in case I have any power issues. I haven't had power issues in the 8 years I've been doing lights on the truck, 8 or 9 years. So I shouldn't have any problems, but I keep one in case. And I also keep extra alien tape and zip ties. Is it in this door? No. I think it's in this one, yeah. And a pair of scissors and all that good stuff I keep on hand just in case I have any issues. But yeah, that's the gist of the truck and how it's powered. I might throw in some video spliced in here, who knows. If you have any more questions or you want me to go in depth on any of this and how it really works and all that good stuff, let me know. I'll make a longer video or a dedicated video. I also have a YouTube channel, the same username that I have on here. TikTok and Instagram and all that good stuff is all the same. So if you want to see other content, it's on there. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you next time. Happy Halloween.